Alrighty, well, my name is Leah. Welcome to Morning Yin, depending what time zone you're in. We're 9 o'clock. And thanks so much for joining live or recording. And yeah, so it'll be about a little over an hour for class. And just take it at your own pace. If you haven't done Yin before, it's kind of a combination of hatha yoga with weaving in mindfulness as well as Chinese medicine. So it's meant to be sort of what they say, the opposite side of traditional exercise. So really replenishing and hydrating your muscles and joints and finding nourishment for that part of your body. So we like to use lots of props. So if you want to have some blocks, maybe a couple blankets. If you don't have regular traditional yoga props, you can always use your own blankets and pillows at home. So the more props, the better, because we want to feel really supported. And this is my theme for class today is about this sort of season in Chinese medicine. I believe that we're always adapting and sort of simultaneous with the season. So this is the big season of fire and passion and lots of energy. And we can tend to feel like we are getting a little bit burned out, even though we're trying to incorporate so many hours of the day and so much fun, and it is a time of social connection and really that connection of our hearts. You know, it's sort of untraditional, unconventional times right now, so there's even more, another layer of anxiety and unpredictability and unknown that we're also dealing with. So I hope that this hour is restorative and replenishing for you. And so we're going to start our class by doing a belly down shavasana. So just sort of connecting our bodies to the earth. So you can make your way down, finding a comfortable position for you to lay on your belly. So you can have your legs nice and wide if that feels good. You can bring your arms back by your hips, or you could make sort of a cactus with your arms. But wherever you are, just taking, the next minute or so to get out any of your slight movements or wiggles. Just always knowing that in Yin, you have a lot of time to get into your pose. So all of our bodies are different. So just really tuning in and listening to how your body wants to adjust and move. So let's go ahead and take a big, nice, expanding inhale. And open your mouth, exhale. This open class here is feeling into the space around you. Beginning to feel your body connected to the ground. Just giving the whole weight of your body over to the support of the ground beneath you. Feeling your heart held. Just knowing it's okay to soften and release. Maybe you want to imagine that you're having a sort of hug or embrace to the earth. In this time of summertime, we're associated with the fire element. So lots of passion and love. And if you think of someone that's fiery, yeah, a lot of that bigness of expression, and it can also feel like a lot. So in order to ground this fire element or balance it, how acupuncturists and herbalists of Chinese medicine think of it is to add more earth. So maybe that's herbs associated with balancing our earth meridian in our body, or maybe it's eating foods that are closer to the earth, like potatoes, or things that are grounded, like beets. You're always thinking of how to find that balance. So in this first opening pose, just tune in here to your breath, beginning this quality that we take into our yin practice of observation. So often in a maybe active yoga class or an exercise, we're trying to change and adjust and make the perfect shape or do a practice of breathing. But here in yin, we're trying to just welcome the mindfulness and observation of what is real and what's true. Just listen and feel the quality of your breath is right now. Maybe it's a little bit shallow, or maybe it's slow this morning. And whatever it is, just accepting that this is where you are right now. And feeling the weight of your thighs really release, and your legs and hips relax. Be bringing some of that kindness and into your observation and observing your mind. Often it can feel hard to slow down, especially in our culture. Just knowing that that's normal. And we can use these tools of our breath, mindfulness, observation to bring the awareness back into our body. Take about 2 to 3 more breaths here. To get into this healing and nourishing state that we're hoping for in this practice, we have to shift our nervous system into the parasympathetic, so restorative, where our body begins to move into a healing state for our joints, so we can really digest our lives, digest the emotions and the food. Let's take one more big breath in together. So nice and slow, long inhale, expanding your ribs. And open your mouth, exhale, nice big breath. And throughout class, we're going to try to move in slow motion whenever we make transitions. And this allows us to keep our attention inward towards our own bodies, our own little space around our mat. And it allows our body to stay in this repair response. You can begin to maybe rock your head back and forth or move your fingers and toes. It's beginning to wake up your body slightly. Maybe bringing in some nice, refreshing inhales. And when you're ready, we're going to move into what we call a Sphinx pose. So a little heart opening. There's a few options for props. So you could bring a blanket right beneath your hips if you felt like the ground was hard beneath you. And again, just kind of moving softly with each of your props. And you're gonna, you can come into it a few different ways. So I usually come from a laying down position and find my hands on opposite elbows. And that way you can slowly walk your elbows in to then see how high you want to go for your low back. And then once you find a nice curvature through your low back that feels like a stretch through your belly and an opening through your heart, you're gonna come find a number 11 with your hands. So it'd be a great place to see where your body might feel like it wants to be more supported. So you could take a pillow and put it underneath your hips or underneath your belly. It's really underneath your belly. That just provides a little bit of lift, but you never want to have a pinching in your low back. So that's one option. Do you feel comfortable where you are? Just go ahead and stay. It feels like it's going to be a lot for your neck to hold your head up. You can create a little stack with your blocks or pillow stack to support your head. And you have plenty of time in this class to take the time you need to set up where your body can feel really supported. Because when your bones are supported, then your muscles can relax. If you ever feel a pinching or discomfort in your low back, just walk your elbows forward a little bit. If your leg muscles feel like they're gripping, you can widen your ankles and trying to release and relax through your legs. Once you find a place that you can be, bringing your attention back to your breath. Be finding a little bit more detail in the sensation of the inhale as it brushes the skin beneath your nostrils. And the gentle exhale and release. If you're finding that your mind is busy, it can feel good to have sort of a silent mantra that you are saying to yourself. So one that I like is on your inhale, you can say, I'm inhaling. And on your exhale, I am home. So a nice, gentle inhale, I am inhaling. On your exhale, I am home. Looking for that sense of home and groundedness in your body, in this space. We'll be here just for about 5 more breaths. Relaxing through your jaw. Just allowing for this openness and softness through your heart. Continuously allowing your hips and legs to release. Just finding an openness through the heart meridian that an acupuncturist would be targeting in a treatment. And relax through the muscles of your face, even relaxing your shoulders away from your ears. Feeling the ground support your hips. It's coming into this place of stillness, this place of rest. And sort of a bright awareness as well. One component of yin yoga is stillness. So our bodies are never still. There's lots of internal workings. There's a busyness of the mind. But this sense of stillness we find in meditation and yin yoga, it brightens this language of awareness and connection to ourselves and our own experience. And your next inhale, make it just a little bit longer and more expansive. Find a nice open mouth. Exhale when you're ready. Now we're gonna move slowly again in each of the transitions. You're just gonna move any props out of the way. Then you're gonna slowly walk your arms forward. And you're gonna come to lie down on your belly once again. You can decide what you wanna do with your arms, maybe turning your head to one side. So after each of our yin poses, we will spend a minute in what we call a rebound pose. And this is so we can listen for the echoes of that energy movement after our pose. So just feeling into maybe where the body is having energy move. That can sometimes feel like aching or some sort of rushing or warmth. It's said that these yin poses can act like a needleless acupuncture treatment, where we're really carving out any blockages in these energy meridians so we can have a healthy flow and none of those holdings and restrictions that life just ends up resulting in our physical body. So just relax here and here, rebound. If your body ever craves movement in this minute, you can always find your own authentic movement, whatever feels good. You could rock your ankles side to side. You could rock your head side to side. Whatever helps you sort of digest and assimilate what just happened. Take just 1 to 2 more breaths here. Feeling into your mat, feeling into your heart after a nice big expansion. And taking one final big inhale in. And open your mouth, exhale. And take a few breaths, and we're gonna meet our way up into a tabletop position. So moving slowly to keep your body relaxed. If you wanted to pad your knees with a blanket, you can do that. And here's close your eyes, finding your knees right beneath your hips and your hands beneath your shoulders. You're just gonna take your own minute to just sort of wake up your body. So you could find a traditional cat-cow where you allow your belly to drop and your heart to lift. And then finding that Halloween cat. So tucking your tummy in towards your spine and pushing through your hands. So you can find an openness on the back of your heart. You could just oscillate your spine up and down like that, or if you wanted to roll out your hips, or finding any sort of wakeful, juicy movement for yourself. And coming back to that awareness of your breath. Once you feel loosened a little there, we're gonna move into our next pose, which is gonna look similar to child's pose, and it's called heart melting pose. So from a tabletop position, you're gonna keep your booty elevated. I like to imagine there's like a little life preserver on there that's keeping it floating up there. And then you're gonna walk your fingers forward, your hands forward. And then you're gonna slowly let your heart sink towards the ground. And so this can be different for different people. So maybe your forehead is gonna touch the mat. Maybe your chin is gonna touch the mat. And so it's gonna be a sensation that's underneath your armpits. Can feel fairly sensational for people. So if you widen your hands, then you're gonna decrease the sensation. So you're gonna have a little bit more ease for your shoulders. And if you wanted to create more sensation, you can find to walk your hands closer together. If it felt like a lot of pressure on your forehead or your face, you could bring a blanket there. And again, just taking the first few breaths to find where it is that you're gonna stay. So experimenting where that hand placement would be good. This is a fairly intense pose, so we won't be here too long, but we're just opening up this channel that moves from our heart all the way down our arms and into our fingertips. I think it's kind of beautiful that the heart meridian runs from our heart, down our arms, and out through our hands. And that sort of giving out love motion. And so here we can find an opening and stretch through this heart area. And feeling the quality of your breath now. So one of the components of yin is also finding our edge. Let's say in a pose like this, where it's easy for people to feel a lot of sensation, it's a good experiment to begin to try to understand what this means to you, this edge. So in yin, we want a sense of sensation and that sort of gentle pulling. of our muscles and even slightly in our tendons and ligaments. But because the tendons and ligaments are very sensitive, we need that edge and that sensation to be quite light. So we'll be here just for about 3 to 4 more breaths. Trying to relax through your jaw. Maybe backing off just slightly if it's too intense. Again, walking your hands out wide. So if we're beyond our edge, then our muscles are going to contract and try to protect. So we want our muscles to feel relaxed. So in the end, we want to find that edge and then walk just a couple steps back. Not physically walk, but just edge off a little bit. Just feeling this line from your heart all the way down through your arms. Releasing through your jaw. Finding softness through your belly. Let's take an inhale in together. Expanding through your ribs, nice big inhale. And open your mouth, exhale. And just feeling into the imprint of the sensation here. You're going to begin to release your fingers and again just slowly push and walk your hands up. So you can come up through seated. You're just going to swivel your hips to the side so you can come to lay down on your back. Moving slowly, keeping that attention in towards yourself. And here in this little mini Shavasana, go ahead and reach your arms out wide, take a lot of space. Feeling the weight of your body give over to the ground beneath you. If there's any of that sort of resistant, stuck feeling, then you're welcome to find any movement. You could rock your knees back and forth. Maybe just finding that observation into your heart area, so the whole area around your chest, all the way down your arms. Finding that gentle awareness of whatever is happening. Is your body adjusting and coming back to balance? So when our heart meridian is in balance, it's said that we can have this sense of tranquility and peace. It can be easier for us to create boundaries for ourselves. It's easier for us to find forgiveness. But when life tests us and we're having that sense of imbalance, we can tend to feel quite ungrounded, maybe even manic or overexcited. And it's these type of practices of slowing down that allows our body to naturally come back to balance. Coming back to your breath, feeling the sensations of your inhales and your exhales. It does take this practice of slowing down to know what our body needs. It can feel so good to give that love out, or find that connection with people, or be in the sun and be in the heat of the summer. But we all know what that feels like to have that sort of sun exhaustion and that body exhaustion, that we just want to go inside and come back to a more cool and restful place. So we're always finding this balance of giving out and giving back to ourselves. So soften your throat and your jaw. Let's take a nice inhale in. And open your mouth, exhale. And rock your head back and forth, opening through your neck. You can roll to one side, moving slow, keeping your body relaxed. And you're just gonna come up to a seat just so you can see where we're going. So we're gonna move into a Supta Baddha Konasana, one of my favorite poses. So it's great to take 2 blocks, depending how flexible your legs are. Most people can enjoy the blocks underneath their legs. So you're just gonna position them as if your knees could fall. You can make a choice if you want to just lay down on your back, flush to the mat. That can feel good. But you're gonna find butterfly legs, so your feet come together. Knees are gonna be supported. And then I like to bring a bolster right up against my hips, so my spine can feel a little bit elevated, and this is gonna allow for a little bit more heart opening. So once you find what seems like a generally good position, you're gonna just slowly inch your way down. This can be a good place. You could find a towel or a blanket if you wanted to have a little bit extra support for your neck. This is gonna allow for your spine to be lifted and your heart to have just a gentle opening. And if there is quite a bit of sensation in your legs, your inner thighs, just go ahead and back up a little bit by bringing your feet and your ankles a little bit further away from your hips. You want it to have an increase of sensation through the opening of your legs. You could inch your heels up towards your hips to create a little bit wider of this butterfly shape. Again, there's plenty of time, so just taking the time you need to adjust the props to make yourself feel really supported. We're going to be here for a few minutes. So here we're just having a softness, opening your heart, chest, allowing your belly to be soft, opening up this channel from your belly, such a wise place, such an intricate system that takes in not only our foods, but also the emotions, reactions that we have throughout our day. This area where our emotions are created, emoted up to our brain to come to understand. Finding some gratitude and appreciation for that intricate system of your digestion that sorts out what is not going to serve us, those toxic minerals or unnecessary beliefs about ourselves, and just asks them to be let go, to be sorted out and expelled. And finding some heaviness and relaxation here through your legs. This shape of vulnerability and openness. Opening through the meridians of the legs, which are associated with earth, this grounding, nourishing element of the earth. This sense of home and support. The earth element is also associated with this digestive system, the stomach and spleen. So as I said, the system that really supports us to have the nutrients and the energy that we need to keep our minds going, to keep our hearts healthy, to nourish all the little cells and muscles and ligaments of our bodies. And after this season of summer, in the Chinese medicine belief, there's an extra season and compared to what we're used to. So they call it late summer. And this is associated with the earth element. So we're kind of on the cusp here right now in August of moving from this bright, most warm and heat-rich time for all the fruits and everything to soak up that energy. And we're moving into that harvest time. So I can feel my own body getting a little bit burned out. I'm trying to make the most of the summer sun. I'm trying to find the balance in how much to work and how much to worry about the future and how much to just try to find that youthful playfulness in the summer. And it's hard to find the desire to slow down and not get burned out. It's hard to allow myself to take that afternoon nap when it's sunny out there. And even though there's so much brightness and hope in this season, it's hard for myself to allow my body to just relax into that whatever unfolds in the next few months is what's supposed to happen. I want to have this sense of control, predictability, and more with what's happening in the state of our world, and almost always really. We have to just trust that the seasons will change, that we're going to take the time we need to rest so we can have that strong stability of that earth element through our legs, and we have enough nourishment and energy left in our heart for ourselves, for the people in our lives. The next few breaths to rest here into your breath. Breathing in all that you need, each of your inhales. Imagining that all the little particles in the air is nourishing you for whatever you need in this moment right here. And with each exhale, just allowing your body to be more heavy and let go of whatever is not serving you, whatever is not your job to figure out. Feeling the trust, the earth beneath you. Imagining the earth that's beneath the floor that you're laying on. Maybe there's grass there or just dirt. So much richness in the soil. It's nourishing all the plants and trees. And the depths and layers of the earth that's holding us up right here. Allowing your heart to feel supported on the back, whatever is holding your shoulder blades. Just soften your shoulders down, away from your ears. Feeling some softness through your arms, all the way down through your fingers. Just imagining any of those worries or frustrations to just slowly drip off your shoulders. Like ice melting into water and even evaporating from water to air. Nice soft belly, legs are relaxed. The arches of your feet can release. Coming back to the awareness here of your breath. The last component of yin, we have stillness, we have edge, we have time. It's important to incorporate enough time in each of our poses for our bodies to feel safe, to have the sense of release. So we build these little blockages in our energy meridians for all different reasons. Mineral deficiencies, emotional holding. Part of it is to keep us safe. It's what our body thinks. But once we can get our bodies into truly a safe and supported place, we will naturally move back into a balanced, more balanced feeling. Where these little canals, you can picture them as little rivers, lines through our body, can flow more freely. Debris or different pieces of logs that you could imagine in a river that get dammed up. Eventually they will release. There'll be more flow of water, more flow of energy. So begin to deepen your breath, elongating your exhales. Nice, slow, long, both inhaling and exhaling. And just imprinting the shape in your body, giving the whole weight of your body over to gravity. Let's go ahead and take an inhale here together whenever you're ready. Open your mouth, exhale. Just pausing to notice the space after the exhale. Begin to just wiggle your fingers, rolling out your wrists. Maybe rocking your head side to side. Finding a little awareness through your belly here. Find an engagement just slightly through your belly. You're going to use that strength there to move your knees back together. You could even bring your hands to your thighs, bringing your knees up. And you can move the blocks out of the way when you're ready, but you're going to slightly tuck your chin under and slowly make your way up. And this is just to allow you to move the props out of the way. We're gonna come to just a short little rebound pose on our back once again.
What? Okay.
So finding a little shavasana here and just listen to the echoes of that pose. Listening to if your body wants to find observation and stillness, or if it's craving some movement.
Let's see.
Coming from that sort of open heart, open hip place back to sort of a less vulnerable position. Coming back to yourself. Integrating whatever it was that moved. Maybe bringing in that mantra, I'm inhaling. And I am home with your exhale. So about 3 rounds of breath here. Inhale. Exhale. Developing that healthy talk for yourself that it's okay to slow down. Even when your mind wants to get busy and productive, just thanking that energy of more forward movement and creativity, and just saying thank you, but I'm busy breathing. We're going to slowly move into what we call a pontoon pose. So you're welcome to roll to one side and come up and look, or if you know pontoon, you can move into that. So there's 2 options here. So we can use our blocks, or we can just use a pillow. A pillow can feel a little softer, less intense. Blocks can feel a little bit more sensational. So the blocks are going to look like this underneath your hips. So I usually take it with one hand, or one in each hand, and put it under my hips. Or you can slide a bolster under there. So I would have both options close by, in your arm's reach. And you're just going to come to lie down on your back. And find your knees up and your feet grounded. So it's like when we're in a vinyasa, we would move into a bridge pose, but it's going to be soft, your belly engagement. You're going to use your legs. And we're not moving the other side of it. You want to try blocks first, so doing a block, and then you're going to push down through your feet. Find a little bridge pose, just high enough so you can slide the blocks underneath your hips. And again, they're going to look like this underneath your hips, so it's a nice long support. You're just going to set your hips down on the blocks. And I would say moving them up closer towards your shoulder blades to start. Just right next to your tailbone. And then with pontoon, we will eventually straighten our legs. And I would test one leg at a time. So straightening one leg. And then just experimenting with straightening the other. There's quite a bit of pinching in your low back. Plant your feet again and just shift the blocks down slightly towards your heel, just a couple inches. And if it feels like too firm for your hips, you could go ahead and use a bolster or a pillow, stack of pillows or blankets. We're just opening through our hip flexors here. If it feels like a lot, just straighten one leg at a time and keep one leg bent. So here we're targeting opening up our hip flexors. So we're doing lots of sitting in our American culture, driving in the car, sitting at a desk if you're working a lot, or sitting on the couch if you're enjoying the pandemic freeze that we have. But wherever we are, our bodies are imprinting what our normal positioning is. So this is a great pose. I try to do it every other day to connect and reintegrate the energy from the top half of my body to the lower half. Because when we're sitting, our hip flexor muscles are shortening. And this can actually contribute to different digestive issues because there's just a constriction of energy there. So trying to soften through your thighs and your legs wherever you are. You can have your hands out wide or close towards your body. Feeling your heart supported. Trying to release and relax through your jaw. Just feeling into the rise and fall of your breath. So we can have so much appreciation for this season of summer. It's truly a time that feels celebratory. The winters can be hard. And in spring, we're like those little seeds that have hibernated and tried to gather all the nutrients they can to make their tiny little sprout that comes through the earth. It's a lot of work and striving and sort of battling that happens in those harder seasons of winter and spring. And there's a big sense of expansion, possibility in summer. So just go ahead and breathe, finding that nice summer air coming in, feeling a sense of expansion and brightness. Imagining you're breathing in that warm summer air that's been heated up by the sun. Bringing that in to warm your body. In Chinese medicine, they say this is the season that warms us for the rest of the year. It's important for us to go out and walk on the grass that's been heated by the sun. Take in as much warmth and connection that we can with other people, with nature, to nourish us with that warmth for the seasons to come. Without this essence of fire, they say that the rest of your year may include some darkness or a lack of spirit. So just imagining your breath is taking in this warmth of the season. And I would go ahead and switch legs if you're doing one leg at a time. Just allowing your shoulders to feel grounded and your neck to release. Just feeling here into your hips. Just allowing them to feel grounded and supported by whatever's beneath them. And tuning in to what it is, any resistance, what it is that doesn't want us to be open and vulnerable. And just allowing there to be space for that. Breathing in there. Softening where you can. You can just take about 8 more of your own breaths here, moving slowly with each inhale and slowly with each exhale. Maybe finding that sense of edge, seeing if you need to bend your knees to back off, or widening your feet. Let's take the last 3 breaths together. So nice, long, big exhale or inhale in. Opening your mouth, exhale. Letting there be a pause afterwards and letting your body just naturally find an inhale again. And exhale. Last time, nice, long, slow inhale. Allowing for a slow, long exhale. You can slowly probably find a little achiness here through your legs, but allowing your knees to bend once again. You're gonna push through your feet so you can remove any block or bolster from underneath you, allowing your hips to sink down. You can stay here for a rebound with your knees pointed up and your feet planted. You can dip one knee in at a time, sort of rocking back and forth. Just listening to what your body wants. Maybe you want to extend your legs long into Shavasana. You could even hug your knees in. Can feel like a lot of opening onto. Just taking this minute to give yourself any comfort or nourishment to come back to balance. Softening your eyes, all the little muscles around your eyes. Go ahead, and if you don't have your feet planted and your knees up, just finding a place for your hips to settle. Your knees to be planted. And this time you're just gonna come into the same little bridge pose where you're just gonna lift your hips up 1 or 2 inches. So using a little belly strength and then pushing through your feet. And this way you're gonna move your hips off to the left side, just 1 or 2 or 3 inches and set them back down. We're gonna come in here to a twist. So bringing your knees up and towards your chest. Then you're gonna let your legs fall towards the right. So here you can bring a blanket in between your knees. You could bring a blanket underneath your left shoulder or underneath your neck or both. Again, you want your bones to be supported so your muscles can relax. When your body's relaxed, it will go into that repair response. Go ahead and just take about 4 or 5 of your own breaths. Breathing into those left ribs, imagining with each breath there could be more expansion. When we move from a pose out and into a rebound pose, it can feel like a constriction to then a release. You can imagine like you're wringing out your bathing suit and then releasing it and hanging it up. So this sort of constriction and then release allows for the blood flow to get constricted, and then for a big rush to go through that energy meridian and remove the blockages. So that's one way that we work with our energy and also with our breath. So when it's said that the energy flows where our attention goes. So if there's any place of tightness or constriction, bringing your mind, just imagining what that area might look like, bringing your breath there. Not necessarily trying to change it, but just bringing the breath there to bring in that nutrients that's coming in with the breath, bringing a little ease there. Just 3 more breaths here, nice and soft, your belly rising and releasing. Allowing the little front muscles of your neck to relax and your throat to find some openness and space. This last breath, just allow your top leg to be really heavy, your inner thighs to release. And let's take a breath together. So inhaling in. And nice, exhaling out. And slowly unwind, coming back to center. Bringing your hips to center, knees bent. Just pausing here for a moment. Tracing maybe just your lines there from your pinky toe of your left side and up the side of your leg. Feeling into the inside of your legs. And tracing up your left side into your ribs and underneath your armpit. All the way down your arm and out your hand. Tracing up your left shoulder and into your neck. And just allowing your head to relax and release. Taking a nice inhale in. And exhale out. Just pausing here to feel if there's any difference between the left and right side. And softening your low back down towards the ground. You're going to go ahead and move onto the other side. So again, finding a little belly strength to lift your hips up slightly. And then you're going to move your hips to the right 1 or 2 inches. Your knees are going to come in towards your chest. And then allow them to fall towards the left. Again, finding maybe a blanket underneath your right shoulder. You could even lay a blanket over your right knee, right thigh to feel a little bit of a weight.